What's going on, Silver and Black Nation? Welcome to the Silver and Black Lair. I'm your host, the Bat Frie Kenny Frie. A little bit late tonight. I originally had it scheduled for 11:30. I was at Hershey Park with the family. Just walked in the door about 5-10 minutes ago. So, but here we are, ready to rock. Unlike the Raiders, we're ready to rock here, ready to talk some Silver and Black. We got a comment here before I get her kicked off. Eileen, what's up, Eileen? Eileen says, I feel like this music intro is going. What's up, Adam? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling good. Let's see, that's not showing for some reason. There it is. It's a little slow. There we go. Hey, Vegas Rob, what's up, buddy? Hope you're doing well out there in the old Sin City, the desert. Let's kick this show off. Let's get this show on the road. It's getting a little late, past our bedtimes. As we get older, it's past our bedtimes. There we go. The Big Blue Power Hour checking in. You check out the Big Blue Power Hour on Sundays now. So be sure to check that out. I believe 11:30 a.m. The Raiders. There we go. It's been a rough start to the season so far. Rob says the Raiders need to get it together. Absolutely, it's been atrocious. You know, but it's glimmers. There's glimmers, but not a whole lot of hope. 11 a.m. Sorry, 11 a.m. Be sure to check out the Big Blue Power Hour at their new time, Sundays at 11 a.m. Talking New York Giants football. I mean, there's another team that's been struggling, but you start to see a little bit of glimmers of them coming out of it, same as the Raiders. But if they wait too long, it's going to be a season loss, and it's going to be another disappointment. That's all. So against the Steelers this past Sunday night football, home opener for the Raiders. And didn't feel like it. To be 100% honest with you, it felt like a Steelers home game. You watch it, you listen to it. I watched the first half live, and then had to go to work, so I watched the second half throughout the rest of the week. But it was almost like a home game for the Steelers. I mean, you have T.J. Watt, getting the sack, becoming the all-time sack leader for the Steelers, running off and raising his hands in the air to get that crowd pumped up. I'm thinking, what the hell? We're not in Pittsburgh, but with all those terrible towels waving and the noise, you'd swear it was Pittsburgh. It was unbelievable. And I've talked about this numerous times. Even when I used to do the Las Vegas sports thing with Vegas Rob, we talked about it. It's not really, you kind of lose your home field advantage that you had in Oakland when you move to Las Vegas because it's such a tourist destination. It is what it is. It's really, really surprising, to be honest with you. I've seen several pleas from Raiders fans on Twitter. Raiders fans to show up and stop selling your tickets, especially the season ticket holders, to opposing teams. Sell them to Raider fans, and I can't remember who it was. What Raider fan it was talking about. The Raiders should lower their ticket prices so it's more accessible. Easier for Raider fans to get to, more affordable for Raider fans to get to, but I don't know if that's the issue. And I know it's super expensive. It's crazy expensive. But I mean, that's the NFL today, pretty much. As far as I'm concerned, anyway, it's very expensive. Not quite NBA expensive, but very expensive. Paul Spencer checking in. What's up, Paul? He said, "What's up, buddy? Watching a new Exorcist movie, didn't know which is more scarier, Raiders or this movie." Shut up. I'll tell you what, the first Exorcist movie still scares the shit out of me. The original, the OG, I mean, I still, blankets are up. Scary movies. I really do, but that one always gets me. I started Oh, we're gonna start this internet. So sorry if it buffers. Internet's sketchy. I don't. To be honest with you, I really do think it's the weather because it's super overcast. It's actually drizzling and raining here now. So I'm guessing that it's this is all weather related because it's even my phone the signal has been really shoddy lately. So it's like it's been overcast for almost a week. It feels like a little bit of sunshine on Wednesday, but that was about it. In the morning. But yeah, so I started rewatching Fear the Walking Dead on the Max app. I guess the Max app is carrying AMC Plus, and so I'm like, I'll finally get to rewatch, from the beginning the Fear the Walking Dead. I seen the first couple seasons, but then I missed the next couple seasons, and so I'm like, I'm just gonna restart it. And I forgot how good that show was. It was I really liked it. It's such a different. I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. I watched the whole series, The Walking Dead, but I also read the comic books. And I really liked the way Fear the Walking Dead took a different approach to it. I thought it was really good. Well done. Adam says fans will travel to Vegas. Yeah, and that's and they even talked about it. I think during the TV broadcast on what is that, NBC? I guess I don't know. But it was they talked about how it's a tourist destination. It's you come in for a weekend of Las Vegas and, you leave after a day or two and, you go to your Raiders game, you fly in Saturday afternoon, do your gambling Saturday night, go to the game and fly back home. I mean, it's convenient, but super expensive. And so you're going to have you're going to have games like that. Like we had it last season, the 49er game was, like 50-50 split, which is, the 49ers are a rival of the Raiders, since, San Francisco and Oakland were so close to each other, just a bridge across. They've always had that animosity against each other, and it's just been a rivalry ever since then. And, even last season it was, invaded by the 49ers fans. It's not a good look for the Raiders. It takes a little bit of that mystique, I guess, that's all we had left was freaking mystique, and now it's gone. So. But Steelers fans do travel well. Rob says it was a Steelers home environment for sure. Absolutely. It was super loud, whenever they made a play. Rob said prices are an issue for sure. That's why I didn't buy season tickets. Yeah, there's not, unless you're a billionaire, buying season tickets is going to be out of the question. Eileen says, that damn Exorcist commercial scared me yesterday. I want to see the what the hell is that called? The Pope's Exorcist. I want to watch that yet. This movie. I didn't. At least I don't think I saw any commercials for it. I'm gonna have to check it out. Dem 215 boys, you check them out Wednesdays at 9:30 talking Dallas Cowboy football. Says, what's up, family? Dem 215 boys in the house. Cowboys having a nice start to their season, a little bit of a hiccup against the Cardinals there. That's all I would call that. I'd call that a hiccup. I wouldn't get too excited about it. It's one of the things they did the Conor McGregor power walk into the Arizona stadium there, and they got their dick slapped. So, hopefully they learn from that, if you're a Cowboys fan, and they turn it around. Big Blue says, did you ever play the Telltale Walking Dead games where you make choices? Yes, I have. I never finished it, though. I got to a certain point, and it's for me playing video games, it comes and goes where I'll play for I'll really get into it. I'll play. And then something happens where I'm like, I'll play tomorrow. Then I don't play. I'll play the next day. I don't play. And then it's like 6 months later, like, I want to play that game. And I play it again. I got to start all over. But yeah, I have played the Telltale Walking Dead games. Actually, I had it on the PlayStation 3. And then once I got the 4 a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, I bought it again. And I was playing it, and I got frustrated with something. I'm like, I need to take a break because you're making the choices, but there's also certain things you got to find as you're going along. And I'm so bad with buttons. It's ridiculous. I'm like an old man. I really am. It's like triangle. I'm looking at where's my triangle button at. It's like, come on, Ken, what are you doing here? You're killing me. So it's that's why when I play like Madden and stuff, I'm stuck. I'm relegated to the regular buttons. I can't do like hot routes or or change my blocking up because I can't hit the R3 button or the R2 button plus a square because I don't know where the hell they're at. I'm really bad with that stuff. Really, really bad. So Rob said, take the true fan experience away from sure. Yeah, it really does for the Raiders. You have the lighting of the torch, which I'm not a huge fan of. I like the lighting of the torch when it was in Oakland because there's an actual flame. Now you have somebody there with a button. They push a button and there's a digital flame. I'm not into that, but I like the symbolism of it. But it's not. It doesn't feel like a Raiders home stadium, a home field advantage or anything like that. Adam says Eagles fans travel. They do. Yeah, when they're winning, they do. Paul Spencer says, gambling one night, I'd be at the sportsbook 24/7, just one big in Oregon State versus Utah. Right, Eileen? Told you. Oh, there you go. How did you win big? Was it on Oregon State or was it on Utah? Rob Hefner said, I made the list for buying season tickets, not sure how. I could have bought another house. It would have cost to buy tickets. Yeah, no doubt, Rob. No doubt. Next up are the Saws. Saw 10, Saw X. It's unbelievable that it's gotten that far with Saw. I was just watching the original one a couple of weeks ago. I was on TV. When is the wrestling show on, Adam? It's supposed to be on tomorrow after the Golden Dome podcast, Adam. So Notre Dame, I think, has a game at 7:30 tomorrow. So after that game's over, Paul's going to come on and do his post game, and as soon as he's done, the Atomic Drop will be on after that. I have a wedding tomorrow also, so I should be home in time. It shouldn't be any later, but yeah, as soon as Paul's done with the Golden Dome recap there, we'll be on right after that. Paul says Oregon State -6, up 21-0. Wow, I'm surprised they're up 21-0. The Beavers showing out. There we go. All right, so back to the Raiders Steelers. Yeah, they started off all right for the Raiders. I can't remember what the drive. I don't think it was 3 and out. They didn't score on the opening drive. They're able to hold the Steelers to a 3 and out. Raiders get the ball back, moving down the field. They get to a 4th and inches. I think it was on between the 30-35, somewhere around there. It's 4th and inches, and you're kind of wondering, what's McDaniel's going to do? Is he going to kick the field goal? Is he going to take a chance with it being super early in the game and still 0-0? Take that chance, go for the first down with like the old tush push or whatever the hell we're calling it nowadays, instead of the quarterback sneak. Are we going to do something like that? McDaniels came out. I think the Raiders they had to call timeout because the play clock was down to 0. So they had to call timeout. McDaniels is pissed on the sideline. Raiders come back out. They're going for it. Everybody's assuming tush push. And, terrific play call by McDaniels. You got to give credit where credit's due there. Going for the gusto. Nice down the field pass to Devontae Adams on the 1-yard line, and he rolls into the end zone, right between 2 defenders. So it was great play call. You don't say that often with McDaniels. And credit. The Raiders open up 7-0 then, and after that it was all downhill. So it came down to the Steelers rattled off 23 unanswered points after that, but it came down to a Steelers defensive line basically dominating the Raiders offensive line this game. In my opinion, that's what it came down to. Jimmy G was pressured a ton, and so when I talked last week, I talked about how Jermaine Ulemanor and Colton Miller, Ulemanor was the only tackle with at least I think it was at that time 54 passing snaps not to have allowed a pressure, hit, or sack. And Colton Miller was at the same amount, but only giving up one pressure. So both those tackles were super hot coming in, haven't allowed a sack. The Raiders didn't allow a sack, I believe, through the first 2 games. So the offensive line was looking good, feeling good. And you knew with the Steelers coming in, that they were going to give up a sack. T.J. Watt, what is it? I think the other dude is Hightowers or Highsmith or something like that. One of those guys were going to get a sack. They were going to get pressures. It's just the Steelers. Their defense isn't their top thing anymore, but you still think Steelers. You still think defense. And they came in, and T.J. Watt came in. And he got his sack pretty early on, and celebrating. I'm like, all right, it was bound to happen. It was a one-on-one matchup, and he beat Ulemanor around the corner, and that was that. But throughout the rest of the game, I mean, it seemed like Jimmy G took hit after hit after hit, and there's some pretty big hits. I mean, I know it wasn't that bad, but that's what it felt like. It just felt like he was under constant pressure when he would drop back to pass. He dropped back to pass, I think 40 some times. I think that's what the final tally was. 44 times. He was 28 or 44 for 324, 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So he's back there. He's being pressured. He's throwing the ball everywhere. He's getting picked off. I mean, and the thing that's really frustrating is, Jimmy G is supposed to be the kind of quarterback that's supposed to protect the ball. And, instead of, just take the sack or throw it away, he's throwing it to God knows where, and is getting picked off. And I said this last week, we had Derek Carr, and Derek Carr was doing that, and that's why we got rid of him. What's the difference between Jimmy G and Derek Carr? Seriously, what is the difference? It's very frustrating, the quarterback play right now. I think before the game, his completion percentage was 72%, but it's like, okay, big whoop. He's still turning the ball over. He's still throwing interceptions, still making some terrible decisions, and missing plays. So it's not like Jimmy's coming in and just lighting the world on fire. I mean, he's not playing terrible, but like I said, we had Derek Carr, and Derek Carr was doing that stuff, and we shipped Derek Carr off. There is no difference between Derek Carr and Jimmy G right now. So the only difference is I felt like Derek Carr was a little bit more grittier. It seems like Jimmy G's been hurt every game so far. So I know I don't know if he missed any plays this past game, but I know each game he's had to come out for a play so far. And after this game, he went into concussion protocol. He's listed as questionable right now. So I assume he's going to play. If he's listed as questionable, that tells me that he's probably going to play. I would have rather him kind of, take the week off there, Jimmy G. Go get your hair and your nails done, and go get yourself a pedicure or something like that. And let Aiden O'Connell take the snaps and see what he has. But the offense doesn't look good, and we're constantly playing behind. So, although I do think our first – I could be wrong about this. I think our first 3 games, we actually had to lead early in each game by a touchdown. But then after that, it's, repeatedly coming back, trying to scratch and claw our way back. And it would have been nice earlier in the game. I don't know if it was first or second quarter. Kenny Pickett, under a little bit of pressure, threw the ball right into Marcus Peters' arms. It's one of the great, defensive backs, in the history of the NFL. He's one of the top guys with, with interceptions in the NFL right now, career interceptions, and just right. He didn't have any. He probably never had an easier pick six. He was right there, hit him for some reason. He was so far off on. If you watch the replay, it hits him in the wrists or forearm. I mean, he was that far off. It's not like it just hit off his hands and he just didn't catch it. It didn't even hit his hands. It hit him in the forearms or his wrists, and it's not like he had anybody in front of him. It was all green in front of him. He undercut the pass. It was beautiful. That would have put the Raiders up, I think, 14-7. But no, it's, instead it's, down over. And I don't remember what the result of that drive was. I don't know if the Steelers ended up punting that drive or what. But it wasn't, it wasn't very, it was And so between that, Jimmy G turning the ball over, I felt like Josh Jacobs started getting going a little bit, more in that game. It still didn't run for crazy numbers. 17 carries, 62 yards. That's not very good, not good at all. But it felt like near the end of the game, started to kind of getting some traction there. I don't know if that's because, the Steelers were wearing down a bit. I don't know. The Raiders, were on the field more, had more plays, had more yards than the Steelers. It just, turnovers kill you. It really does. But it did feel like Josh Jacobs started kind of getting going a little bit at the end. Still nothing to write home to mom and pa about. But they have to get him going. They didn't give the ball to anybody else in that game. It was all Josh Jacobs. I think Jimmy G ran the ball like 2 or 3 times, but no Zamir White, no Amir Abdullah. There was the one play, I think it was the first or second quarter. Amir Abdullah's wide open. I guess I don't know if he was supposed to run a wheel route or got turned around the wrong way, but he was wide open and is thrown to the sideline, and he's looking the opposite way. It's like stuff like that we can't miss. We can't afford to miss easy plays like that. It would have been an easy 20-yard gain, 25-yard gain, and it just went down as an incompletion. You just can't let opportunities like that go by. They build on each other. They compound. It's very frustrating. It really is. As I'm sure every fan that's watching the show right now has some part of their team that has frustrated them, last week or the week before. But for the Raiders, it's every damn week, every week. But one bright spot, actually 2 bright spots, but the biggest bright spot was Devontae Adams again, 13 catches, 72 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was in concussion protocol earlier in the week after getting his bell rung against Buffalo. And Jacoby Myers came back from missing last week because he was in concussion protocol after having that huge catch in the first game against the Broncos. But he had 7 catches for, 85 yards. Hunter Renfrow, 2 catches, 17 yards. Josh McDaniels pissed and moaned and slammed his fist on the desk. We need to get Hunter Renfrow the ball. I'm angry that we're not including Hunter Renfrow. 2 catches. I think he had 3 targets, 17 yards. I mean, it's the dude is just blowing smoke up everyone's skirts. He's blowing smoke out of his ass up people's skirts. That's how bad it is. I mean, I don't know if that's a correct path that smoke would travel. Out of an ass up a skirt, I don't know, but that's where it's coming from, and that's where it's going. The foolish shit. If they're going to trade him, just trade the guy. If they're going to trade him, trade him. 2 years ago, over 100 catches, over 1,000 yards, Pro Bowl, and now last season, granted last season there were some injuries, but even when he came back, not included. This season, we're going to get Hunter included more. First 2 games, not included. Josh McDummy comes out there, befuddled, bewildered, unsure, puzzled, not why, why can't we get Hunter Renfrow the ball? Why are we not including Hunter Renfrow? You're the ass clown that's calling the plays. You tell us. Why are we not including Hunter Renfrow? If we're not including Hunter Renfrow, why are we not including Trey Tucker? Dude is explosive. Why is he not included? DeAndre Carter, another offseason acquisition. We just picked him up, I guess, just to return pumps. We need explosiveness. There's no explosiveness right now. And you think Josh McDaniels, from his history with the Patriots, of the Danny Amendolas and Wes Welkers and stuff like that, you think he'd use a guy like that, a shifty guy, short passing game, shifty, just breaking off routes. No, he can't seem to figure out how to use Wes Welker. Then the other thing that drives me absolute mad, the lack of use of tight ends. Again, Patriots guy, coaching Tom Brady, Patriots system, Patriots offensive coordinator, tight ends used heavily. Gronk, Aaron Gonzalez, or Aaron Hernandez. That's what I meant to say. Aaron Hernandez, not Gonzalez. Aaron Hernandez, Rob Gronkowski. Who the hell? There was another guy there after Aaron Hernandez. I can't think of who it was, but he also got a decent amount of passes. But Austin Hooper, he's getting one or two balls thrown his way. Michael Mayer, one target. I mean, what the hell? What are we doing? We're just throwing it to Devontae and Jacoby. Is that our game plan? That's our offense right there. Jimmy G had 28 completions, and 20 of those are to Devontae and Jacoby. Spread it around. I don't understand it. It's really, really frustrating. So you move forward, fast forward. The Raiders are able to fight and claw back and get back into the game. They're down 8 points, and it's 4th and 1. I don't remember where it was in the field. It was the 20. I don't think it was inside the 20. I think it was just outside the 20. I could be wrong though. I don't remember exactly where it was, but it's 4th and 1, and Raiders are down 8. Just over 2 minutes to go, and Josh McDaniels takes the field goal. Raiders are down one score. One score. That's a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. One score they're down. And McDaniels takes the field goal. So usually when that happens, that's your coach saying, I have confidence that my defense is going to get the ball back right away. He had 2 timeouts and a 2-minute warning. He has the utmost, confidence his defense is going to get the. Does he know what defense he's coaching? This is the Raiders defense. I mean, granted, we did get the ball back, but I think there was like 10, 12, 15 seconds left. I don't there's no confidence. You can't have confidence in your defense. If our defense blows, you can't do it. You got to go for the win there. Get that 1 yard. Continue the push to the end zone. I mean, the Raiders are moving the ball really, really well. I waited all freaking game to do it, but they're moving the ball well. And he seemed to not understand that he was only down 1 score. I watched a couple interviews. He I don't know. He's like, well, we would need 2 scores to win. No. Well, technically, yes, but one to at least tie. You're down 8. 1 score, to tie to keep the game going. You kick the field goal. There's a pretty good chance you're not getting the ball back. And if you do get the ball back, you're going to be out of timeouts. You're not going to have the 2-minute warning anymore. And there's only going to be, 15 seconds left, whatever it was. So it doesn't, it's stuff like that. Just, the dude is not a head coach. Not a head coach. You can't make decisions like that. He's, I'm sure he's an all right offensive coordinator. I'm not even sure about that anymore. Everybody say, he's an offensive coordinating genius. He's a genius. No, he had Tom Brady. He was coaching Tom Brady, one of the greatest of all time, the GOAT. He's coaching under Bill Belichick's defense. He's not a coach. That's all I'm going to say. He's not a coach. His decision making, his play calling, personnel moves have all been detrimental to the team. It's time to drop back and punt. It's time to fire the guy. I said fire his ass last year, but then I'm like, you know what? Let's give him a chance. And Mark Davis felt the same way. Let's give him a chance. Let's keep a coach around for more than one season, which I get. I understand that. But there ain't no way these players are playing for this guy. There ain't no way these players are playing for this guy. The guy's a clown. An absolute clown. It's a shit show. He's a shit show. And he should be gone by if the Raiders get their asses kicked by the Chargers, he should be gone. He shouldn't be allowed to clean his office out. He should just be gone. They should just, you know what, you're done. Hit the road. Go back to Boston. We'll FedEx your crap to you. That's my thought on that. But again, so the Steelers, our offensive line got their butts kicked. Can't run block. Devontae looked really good. No tight ends again. No Hunter Renfrow again. So, and then missed opportunities like that drop pick 6. So you see it there. You see what we're missing, and it's kind of surprising about the run blocking part because the Raiders last season were a very good run blocking team. The offensive line kind of overperformed last year for the most part, and right now, run blocking wise, they're terrible. All right, we'll go ahead and hit up some comments here. Paul Spencer says, all right, brother, just got yelled at by Katie and Chelsea. It's movie night, not podcast night. The struggle is real. Yep, I get it. Well, you know what? It's the new Exorcist movie. I'm sure it's going to be pretty good. So Adam said, Carr said, thanks for trading him. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him. He got hurt last week. Saints are up 17-0. Carr gets hurt, and I think the Saints end up losing 19-17. I don't know if he's out or like what his status is. I'm going to have to check on that. Rob said, as you and I did the Vegas sports scene, we disagreed on Jimmy G. Yeah. Jimmy G, Adam Glenn's, Adam Glenn's boy. We wanted no part of Jimmy G. We keep Derek. That's what our thought was. Hey, my thought was Jimmy. Jimmy's a winner. Jimmy's a winner. Jimmy played with a top-notch defense every year. I mean, yeah, he's going to win some games. He is, does have a high completion percentage, but now he's sitting at five touchdowns, 6 interceptions. What is that? That's terrible. That's not what I want my quarterback to be doing. Eileen says the difference is Jimmy G is better looking than Derek Carr. Well, I'll tell you what, Derek has those long eyelashes there, Eileen. So I don't know. He has like the SpongeBob. Jimmy has everything else, but Derek has the eyelashes. All right. Where are we at here? Rob says Jimmy G, take a break and let O'Connell play. I agree 100%. Let's see what we got in O'Connell. It's only after a couple of weeks, but still, sitting at 1-2 isn't where we want to be. And we drafted O'Connell for a reason. Let's see what he got. Adam said, did I watch the game at – are you asking if I watched the game at work? No, I did not. I recorded it on DVR, and like I said, I watched the first half before work, and then the second half I watched throughout the week. And it was mind-numbing. It really was. It was frustrating to watch, and I hated watching it. All right, yeah, we just talked about that. Yeah, it was stupid. It was moronic. It really was. Rob expresses his feelings there on Josh McDaniels. Put a quarter in the jug there, Robert. Put a quarter in the jar. McDaniels is on a hot seat. He should be on a hot seat. Absolutely. Poor play calling. Yeah, everybody's always a offensive genius. He's a great OC. I'm not really all sure about that. If I'm him, I'd be worried about getting a job after I get my ass fired from the Raiders, by the Raiders. I'd be worried about where my next job's going to be. He might be the offensive coordinator for Bloomsburg University here in Pennsylvania. FedEx shit to him, yeah. That's what's going to happen. They're not even going to let him collect his stuff and say, we'll send it to you. We'll ship it to you. Cost is on us. We'll send it to you. All right. So before I move on to the upcoming week, I'm going to go ahead and do my Monkey Cold Coffee player of the game. So the Monkey Cold Coffee, of course, player of the game. There's only one to choose. To be 100% honest with you, nobody even came close to playing well enough to be bestowed this honor of being called the Monkey Cold Coffee player of the game. But Devontae Adams had a great game. Terrific first half, and it continued in the second half. And he's angry. He's upset as to how things are going with the Raiders right now. And you can't blame him. Dude's a competitor. He's a terrific player, and it's unfortunate that this is how it's going for him so far. Apparently a Raiders fan growing, and it's just been terrible for him so far. So go make sure you go to monkeycoldcoffee.com. Get yourself some coffee, bourbon chocolate chip infused coffee, the toasted coconut rum, which is fantastic. Don't take my word for it. Get out there, buy some coffee. They have a newer coffee. The Sumatran blend is a medium roast coffee, very good coffee. I have a bag of that, and I have a bag of the bourbon chocolate chip right now I'm going through. They also have the cold brew pitchers, K-cup adapters. Rum cake is very good. Coffee mugs, tumblers, T-shirts, all sorts of swag, a lot of great stuff on their website at monkeycoldcoffee.com. And at checkout, use the promo code OOTB Sports. The promo code, once again, is OOTB Sports. Not the promo code that you see at the bottom there, not OOT Box Sports. It's OOTB Sports. Promo code. So congratulations, Devontae, back-to-back Monkey Cold Coffee player of the game. But this one, 13 catches, 172 yards, 2 touchdowns. Absolutely owned the Steelers secondary. So congrats to him. Now back to the show. Back to our regularly scheduled I can't say that. Regularly scheduled program. That's hard to say. How much is Monkey Cold Coffee paying you? They send me a small T-shirt every quarter, and I figure after a couple quarters, I should have enough T-shirt to sew together and make a T-shirt for myself. Enough small T-shirts to make one big one for myself, like a Transformer T-shirt. All right, so moving on to this upcoming week here. Well, real quick, over a couple more stats. I have a bunch of stuff written down. I can't see because the light bulb's blind. It looks a little bit dimmer, but the light bulb's blown out. So like I said, Jimmy G was 28 of 44, 324 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Devontae Adams, 13 catches, 172 yards, 2 touchdowns. Our Monkey Cold Coffee player of the game. Jacoby Myers, 7 catches, 85 yards. Josh Jacobs, 17 carries, 62 yards. Hunter Renfrow, 2 receptions, 17 yards, which is just idiotic. The Raiders as a team gave up 105 yards rushing, which wasn't bad. The defense didn't play great, but they didn't play terrible either. They kept the Raiders in the game. 31 carries, 105 yards rushing. They gave up. So Kenny Pickett was 16 of 28, 235 yards, 2 touchdowns. We need to get some turnovers. I think that'll help out, huge. Instead of us giving the other team extra chances, how about we get some extra chances and stuff like that. So let's move on to the Chargers week here. We got the LA Chargers coming up. The Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego, I like to call them. That's in Los Angeles. Raiders' second home. I've got a couple comments here. Rob says, "Oh my God, Ken Frie, that was why my exact thought on the Monkey Cold Coffee series for you, LOL." Adam says, "Size fat ass." You know what, Adam? I'm telling you, man. You're like my mom. My mom used to say, "Boy, you're cruising for a bruising." Looking ahead to the Los Angeles Chargers, the LA Chargers. They're coming in just beating the Minnesota Vikings. I believe the Chargers are 1-2. Terrific offense. Not so much on the defensive side. They do have some stars on defense, but offensively, very, very good. Justin Herbert is a really good young quarterback. I know last season I picked him. I'm like, oh, he's going to be MVP. Chargers are going to win the West. Chargers are going to the Super Bowl. That's how good I thought they were last season. They shit the bed last year. And they almost, I think that if I remember correctly, they had a terrible first half of the season, a decent second half. They almost snuck into the playoffs, but it wasn't meant to be. So far this season, Herbert, you look at his numbers, 90 of 121, 939 yards, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. There's a quarterback that doesn't turn the ball over. Beautiful, right? Josh Kelly running the ball 40 for 142 yards, 1 touchdown. Austin Eckler, he also is well over 100 yards rushing, but he's doubtful to play. Fantastic. I like that Austin Eckler's not going to be there. Potentially. It's doubtful. Usually when they're listed as doubtful, usually they don't play. Keenan Allen, 32 catches, 402 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mike Williams, their number 2 receiver, he got hurt last week against the Vikings. I think he's out for the season. So that's another bonus for the Raiders. Bummer for the Bolts, but better for the Raiders. So far, Jimmy G this year, 64 of 94, 709 yards, 5 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. You just look at the difference there. I mean, granted, the Chargers do pass a lot more than what the Raiders do, but I mean, Herbert almost has more completions than what Jimmy has attempts. And you look at the yards, it's 6 turnovers, 6 interceptions. It's frustrating. Devontae so far this season, 37 catches, 322 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jacoby Myers, 22 catches, 166 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Josh Jacobs, 45 carries, 108 yards. Not where we want him, not where we need him. That's under 3 yards a carry. I feel like he's going to turn it around this week, but there's a potential that Joey Bosa may not play. He's questionable. Listed as questionable right now. I guess he's having some issues with, I think, his knee or something like that. I think it's a leg issue. Not sure what it is, but I know it has him on the injured list. So, whether you listen, that's questionable. Usually you see those guys, do play or at least a game time decision. So we'll have to wait to see. So when you break down the team stats and you look at it, you kind of see why the Chargers are 1-2. Their offense racking up 437 yards per game, 329 yards per game, passing 108 of that is rushing. So they go up and down the field really, really well. And Justin Herbert, not only is he good throwing the ball, he's very good running the ball. He's not afraid. But then you look at them defensively, they give up 473 yards per game. So, I mean, defensively, I think they're ranked 31st on defense. That's, you compare that to Raiders, the Raiders defense, well, let me stick with the Chargers for a second. 473 yards per game given up on defense. 358 of those yards are through the passing game, 113 through the rush per game. So, I mean, it's, there's a potential there where you can have a breakout game, really get some traction, get the wheels rolling here on offense, but, I'm not counting on it. The Raiders defensively, not terrible, not good, but not terrible. I'd say a little bit less than okay. I would border on between okay and bad. Giving up 356 yards per game, 220 yards of those yards are passing, which isn't terrible. 127 yards rushing. That's terrible. That's not good at all per game. And then offensively, we're not all that great. 298 yards per game. 236 of those are through the pass and 61 rush. Once we get the rushing game on track, whether that's Josh Jacobs or Zamir White, I think they need to give Zamir White the ball more. I think he only carried it. He didn't carry it at all last week, but I think he only has 5 carries or something like that throughout the first 3 games of the season. He ran the ball well in the preseason. I get it. It's just preseason, but still, let him carry the ball some, until Josh Jacobs at least gets the his sea legs back. And I'd like to see the tight ends utilized a lot more than what they're being utilized. I think it's a missed opportunity with Austin Hooper and Michael Mayer out there. And I'm sick of asking for Hunter Renfrow to be thrown to, so I'm going to the tight end. I'm not even going to say the Raiders need to get the ball to Hunter Renfrow. I'm not even going to say it because I'm sick of saying it. It's pissing me off every time I say it. So I'm going to say instead the Raiders need to get the ball to their tight ends. So that's one thing I think you should watch on Sunday's game. I think it's a Sunday game. Is it a Sunday game or is it a primetime game? Let me double check that real quick. Now that I'm thinking, now that I'm not sure. Bear with me. All right. I'm pulling up the old ESPN app, and it's going to tell me everything I need to know, right? Right. All right. The Raiders, it's a 4:00 game on Sunday. Okay. For some reason, I couldn't remember if I saw that at 4:00 or if it was another primetime game. Thank God it's not. I don't need the whole world watching how bad our defense or how bad we've been playing as a whole, not just our defense, our offense, and all that stuff. So, I mean, if the Raiders are able to slow down Justin Herbert, keep him in the pocket. Because I know in the past he's killed us with his legs. Keep the dude in the pocket, pressure. I think that'll give them a better chance to win. Also, Keenan Allen, if they're able to at least limit Keenan Allen. Yeah, he's one of those receivers that always ends up with like high reception totals. So it's not unheard of to see him with 13 catches, 110 yards or something like that. It's just he gets a lot of catches. A lot of receptions, a lot of targets for Keenan Allen, especially now with Mike Williams being out for the Chargers. So that's something to watch. Their offensive line is terrible again, so it's a good chance for Max Crosby to do some damage. Malcolm Kuntz and our rookie Tyree Wilson. Jesus. I kept thinking Tyrone. Like, it's not Tyrone, Ken. It's not, but Tyrone kept coming up. It's not Tyrone. Tyree Wilson, maybe that's a chance, an opportunity for him. And there's another guy that missed the whole camp, due to injury. So we really don't know he got, what we have in him yet. Reading articles and, seeing people on the old Twitter box, talking, how he's been a bust so far and lowest graded rookie, in the league and stuff, defensively. I mean, you gotta, give him some time. He is a rookie, didn't have a proper training camp. Maybe it's just one of those things he needs to kind of get up to speed now. And maybe now after week 3, going into week 4 here on Sunday, maybe things start turning around for him. I thought Divine Diablo had a pretty good game against the Steelers. I really liked what Divine Diablo did. So hopefully he can put back-to-back games together. But yeah, I felt like the Raiders blitzed a little bit. I guess Steelers is not something the Raiders are known for, is their blitzing. They're known for more of their zone defense and letting the front four try to get pressure, which usually doesn't happen unless your name is Max Crosby. And with Chandler Jones still being out for God knows how long or for what, I just had an ESPN alert that he was arrested for breaking a PFA order against him. So I don't know what's going on with that dude. There's so much. I watched a video about him crying, saying that Aaron Hernandez didn't kill himself, didn't hang himself in jail, and he mentioned something about the Illuminati, and I don't know if he was saying that Josh McDaniels. I don't want to say that he's saying that Josh McDaniels killed Aaron Hernandez, but it almost like had something to do with it. I don't know. It's all like very odd, very crazy. I don't know what the hell's going on with that dude. Like what turned on him? He seemed poised to play this season. Seemed like everything was all lined up for him. He finished the season well last year until he got hurt. Put in the work in the offseason. I don't know what happened. I have no idea. Sooner or later, it'll come out. You'd have to assume, but something triggered that dude. Something flipped the switch in him, and hopefully he just gets the help he needs and doesn't hurt himself or anybody else. I don't know if it's maybe it's the desert air out there that gets the people. But it's not good for right now. Adam Glenn said he's calling me out on October 14th. You ain't calling nothing. You won't even show up. Hefner says Michael Mayer needs to be more involved. Absolutely, especially in October. With a name like that, the Halloween, Michael Myers, Michael Mayer. Yeah, bad pun. All right, so moving on here. To my predictions. So the Raiders, like I said, Austin Eckler, doubtful. Derwin James, Chargers safety, another really good player for them. He's also doubtful. Joey Bosa, questionable. Max Crosby is on the injured list as questionable, and as well as Jimmy G's questionable. I did see Hobbs was also on the injured list for the Raiders. I think he was also questionable. I can't remember now. I didn't write it down. I should have wrote it down. But yeah, so some players to watch here. So the Jason Fine, Jay Fine Law player, defensive player to watch, in my opinion, is going to be Marcus Peters. Dropping that interception, that's unlike him against the Steelers. I felt like he played all right against the Steelers. He's not going to be his old self. He's not. He's a little bit long in the tooth. I think he's 33, 34, which football years, defensive back years, he's kind of getting up there. I think I feel like it was last year. I think it was last year, 2 years ago, coming off injury and stuff like that. It's still kind of finding his footing. He doesn't quite have the speed and stuff like that he used to, but I feel like against the Chargers, there's opportunity because they throw the ball a good bit. There's opportunity for him to make some plays, kind of get things going defensively for our defensive backfield. Opposite of him, you have Jacorian Bennett, rookie. So he's going to have to be the leader. He's going to have to step up, and he and Marcus Epps really need to step up in the defensive backfield, and Trayvon Mooring as well. But yeah, so my Jason Fine defensive player to watch this week is Marcus Peters. Hopefully he is the old Marcus Peters and make some plays, make some big plays, shut down Keenan Allen. That'd be nice. So moving on to the dugout mugs, offensive player to watch this week for me. The offensive player to watch is Josh Jacobs. There's the light. It just can't. Scared the crap out of me. So the dugout mugs offensive player to watch is Josh Jacobs for me this week. Like I said, I felt like the end of the game, the last couple drives seemed like he was moving pretty well. He ran hard that whole game against the Steelers. There was a couple carriers earlier in the game, really lowering his shoulder and getting that extra yard or two. Kind of felt like the old Josh Jacobs. So I feel confident that Josh Jacobs is going to have a pretty big game this week coming up. So we really need him to. The out of the box sports entertainment rookie to watch is going to be the other cornerback, Jacorian Bennett. He's been getting a lot of playing time as a regular cornerback and also as a nickel corner. So again, like I mentioned, I imagine the Raiders are going to be in a lot of nickel. So he's going to get a lot of field time, a lot of playing time. And with the passing game that it is for the Chargers, him being the rookie, that they're going to look his way. They're going to look his way. They're going to look to burn him, and he's going to have opportunity to make them regret it. And hopefully he steps up, beats his chest, and says, "Here I am. Throw at me again, bitch. Throw at me again, bitch." So those are my players to watch. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and do the sponsor reads for those sponsors. We'll start off with, of course, the OG, Jason Fine, J Fine Law. Let me get the banner off of there first. There we go. Jason Fine, J Fine Law, attorney, Big Al. You can call Big Al at 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. Jason Fine specializes in motor vehicle accidents, slip and falls, workman's comp, and personal injury claims. They have 3 office locations throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. In the Garden State of New Jersey, Cherry Hill, the office is located 3 Greensward Lane. The phone number there is 856-209-5258. Then in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the offices are located at 500 Grant Street, Suite 2900, Pittsburgh, PA 15219. And the phone number there is 412-365-8151. And then last but not least, the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. The office is located at 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120. And the phone number there is 267-888-2980. That's Jason Fine. Make sure you mention the Out of the Box Sports Entertainment, and you receive the lower rate at 33 1/3%, I believe it is. You know, whatever law lingo that is. And of course, Monkey Cold Coffee. Go to monkeycoldcoffee.com. Use the promo code OOTB Sports. The promo code is OOTB Sports at checkout. Get yourself some coffee, bourbon chocolate chip infused coffee, the toasted coconut rum, the Sumatran blend, which is a medium roast. Get yourself a cold brew pitcher. Make yourself some cold brew coffee. The bourbon chocolate chip is fantastic through the cold brew. Get yourself a mug, tumbler. The tumblers are fantastic as well. It keeps your coffee hot, for quite a while, for hours and hours. Buy yourself a T-shirt if you're not a fat ass like me. K-cup adapters. The rum cake is the Paradise rum cake is very, very good. Like I said, at checkout, use that promo code OOTB Sports for 10% off at monkeycoltcoffee.com. And last but not least, we have our newest sponsor here, Dugout Mugs, the ultimate game day mug. Go to dugoutmugs.com. Find your team, find your favorite baseball team, or even if you don't want to find, you don't have a favorite baseball team, but you think it's a neat product, you just want to collect them. I've seen, pictures of some people collecting these. I have them all set up in the little, man cave, she shed areas, or whatever you want to call them. And, it looks pretty cool. I have a couple Mets mugs. They have the regular wooden dugout mug there you see pictured. They also have the aluminum bat mug. They have painted mugs, Skyline Series mugs. So you have like New York Skyline, the Philadelphia Skyline, Seattle Skyline, stuff like that. Iconic Skylines. They have the Hall of Fame Series. We have some Hall of Fame players with their autograph etched into the side of the mug. You also can get custom-made mugs, with your company logo. If you're on a beer league slow pitch softball team, you want your logo on there, or maybe a picture of an old pet, a cat or something. I don't know. You get it etched on the side of the dugout mug. Oh, lots of neat things you can do there. They also have knob shots, which is the knob of the bat. Shortstop mugs, which is a little bit smaller than the regular dugout mug. Wine cup mug, which is shaped like a wine glass. So a whole bunch of stuff. They have some a newer product on their website now. It looks like a home plate with your baseball team as a coaster. So that's pretty cool as well. So go to dugoutmugs.com, get your order. Christmas is right around the corner. Buy yourself a mug, buy a friend a mug, kid, son, daughter, uncle. grandfather, all that stuff, coach. Use the promo code OOTB Sports 20 for 20% off. That's OOTB Sports 20 for 20% off at dugoutmugs.com. Hey, it's me again. Got a couple comments here before I give my prediction for the Raiders game. Eileen says, do the Chargers have a good run defense? I forget. So I think their run defense is about average, to be honest with you, Eileen. I was looking up stats. Their pass defense is at the bottom of the league. Their overall defense is 31st. Pass defense was near the bottom of the league. The run defense, I believe, was right near the middle somewhere. I could be wrong. It's somewhere between 15 and 20. I feel like that's where the run defense was. They're giving up 113 yards per game on the ground. So it's not great. The Raiders are giving up 127 yards. So the Raiders defense is ranked 18th in the league right now, which is, better than I thought it was. I can look it up right now, to be honest with you. I pull it up here. Chargers stats. No. Yeah, so doesn't have the rankings. Anyway, yeah, I think their run defense is about middle of the pack. And but overall, it's not a very good defense. Give up a ton of passing yards, 358 yards per game. Overall, 473 yards per game. I mean, they're giving up a ton of yards. They played the Vikings last week. The Vikings are, they're a pretty decent offensive team. Who'd they have week one? They played the Dolphins. Dolphins week one. They lost that game 36-34. They lost to the Titans 24-27 in overtime. Titans not really a huge offensive juggernaut type team. But they were able to beat the Vikings last week. So it's, yeah, middle of the road. I'll go with that. I'll stick with that with my original answer, Eileen. Adam says his old man Spencer's still up. He is still up. He's watching movies. I think he's watching The Notebook, or he's watching Sleepless in Seattle right now, crying probably. Rob said that's funny. All right. So prediction for this week, before I get the hell out of here and go to bed, I'm tired. We were at Hershey. We got there, I'm not sure what time, 5:30, 6, somewhere around there. It's a lot of walking. It's really neat. The Halloween there is just awesome. So week 4 at the Chargers, I have the Raiders losing that game, 28-24. So that's where I have it. I was wrong last week, so maybe I'll be wrong this week. That's what I'm hoping for. Last week I had the Raiders beating the Squealers. This week I have them losing to the Chargers at Los Angeles, 28-24. But I think I have them beating them later in the season in Vegas. Where's that at? Yeah, I have the Raiders beating them in Vegas later in the season. So that's usually what I do when I'm predicting scores when they're division rivals. I go, usually division rival. I cautiously hope that they split. I think I have Kansas City beating us twice this season. I have 2 losses against Kansas City. I have 2 wins against Denver. So I'm never going to pick the Raiders to lose to Denver. Never. Right? So that's going to be, I don't care if they had the second coming of John Elway on their team. They had all the best receivers, best players. I will never, ever, ever pick the Denver Broncos to win a game. Ever. any game, especially against the Raiders, I will never, ever pick the Broncos to win. That's a fact. You can take that one to the bank. Never. It would never happen. Unless there was $1 million in line, then I would do it. But besides that, which it's never going to happen. Yeah, even if if you go on FanDuel, this is a sure thing. You're going to win no matter what. I still wouldn't do it. Not going to do it. Nope. Rob says, go to bed, Ken. So do you guys, anybody out there have any predictions? The Raiders going to beat the Chargers? What about your team? Is your team going to win this week? We have a Jets fan out there. We have, Rob and Adam, Eagles fans that are still watching here. I like right now it says I have 5 viewers. So that's, Adam, Eileen, Rob, who else is out there watching? What is your team going to do? Let me know. Rob has to drop a quarter into the swear bucket again. He says, F Denver. I agree, Rob. F Denver. So real quick, a look at the Kings. The Kings, the LA Kings are in preseason here right now. They're part of the team was in Australia for the Down Under series in Melbourne. Played 3 games there. I think they're coming home now. I could be wrong though. But they had 3 games there. I think they split with the Phoenix Coyotes. Or is it Phoenix or Arizona Coyotes now? I don't know anymore. But they also beat the no, they lost to the Ducks out there as well. So then they came so like I said, it's kind of almost like since preseason, it's almost like a split. Like if you're watching spring training games with your favorite baseball team, there's split squads. So that's how I think it's going right now, because I was listening to Kings game the other night against the Vegas Golden Knights, and I didn't recognize hardly any of those names. Like, who in the hell are these guys? But it's almost like a split squad. These are the guys that didn't travel with the team to Australia. You had more of your name players, your top tier players. They went to Australia. It was a lot of your rookies or your minor league guys stayed back to play some games in home games, some games back in the United States. And like I said, I think the Kings are on their way home now from Australia, but I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure how they were doing it, how it was working out. The Kings were able to beat the Ducks tonight 4-3. LaFerriere with a goal. Chromiak, Fujimo, and Hodgson with goals. Porticello. Is it Porticello or Portillo? I don't remember now. Was in goal. Portillo, that's what it is. He was in goal tonight for the Kings. What do you have? I don't know. Doesn't give the shots or anything like that. So it's like I said, preseason. So he had 20 saves out of 23 shots. But the Kings were able to beat the Golden Knights in Vegas the other night in overtime. The Golden Knights were pretty much dominating the Kings. The Golden Knights had most of their big names there: Eichel, Marchessault, Stone, guys like that. Where the Kings had all those rookies, but they hung around. They hung around. Akil Thomas with a hat trick. It's a guy, again, I've never heard of him. He's a minor league guy. Maybe that's a name to watch. I don't know. Could be just an aberration. I think he only played a couple games last season before injury. So yeah, maybe this is a guy that, turns into something. Who knows? Then the Kings were able to win it in overtime. Game-winning goal there. They had Aiden Hill. The Vegas Golden Knights had Aiden Hill in goal, who was awesome last season. Almost carried them to the Stanley Cup championship last year. the Golden Knights. So I'm ready for the regular season to kick off. I know that we have a couple more weeks yet before the regular season does kick off, but I'm excited to see what the season brings. I want to see how the Golden Knights defend their championship. I want to see if the Oilers are able to take the next step up and become a championship team, which they have the talent for, even with Draisaitl being a dickhead. Can't stand that guy. And, can the Kings get over the Oiler hump? The last 2 seasons, the Kings eliminated in the first round by the Edmonton Oilers. So I like to see if they're able to get over that Oiler hump, see what Pierre-Luc Dubois. I think for some reason I feel like he said he wants to be called PL – is it PL Dubois, or if he wants to be called Pierre-Luc? He wants his name like – he doesn't want to be called Pierre-Luc Dubois. He wants to be called something else. I don't know what the hell it was. I don't remember. I heard it when I was listening to the Kings game on the radio. I was like, what the hell? I guess he doesn't want the whole name out there. I don't know. For whatever reason, I don't know. But I want to see how he gets incorporated into the team, how what line he fits in on, if it's going to be with Fiala and Kaliev, or if are they going to move him around with Kempe or whatever. I don't know. So interested to see how that goes. I want to see how Phoenix Copley does this season, if he's able to carry over last season's success and get better. So a lot of exciting things to be looking forward to. As a Kings fan, as a hockey fan, and that especially hockey out west, seems to be pretty good right now. The Kraken having a good season last year. The Avalanche winning the Stanley Cup 2 seasons ago. So now you have back-to-back Western Conference teams winning Stanley Cups. And like I said, the Oilers having the best player in hockey, Connor McDavid, on their team. That's a Western Conference team. So lots of good hockey out west. All right, so let's go ahead and check out the comments here before I get the hell out of here. Adam Glenn said Eagles win by 14. Did they already play? Were they the Thursday night game? I don't know. Eileen says Jets going to lose to Mr. Taylor Swift. Yeah, you're right. Unfortunately, Jets are probably going to lose to the Chiefs. You never know. That's why they play the games. But yeah, they'll probably lose to the Queefs, and which is unfortunate. The Jets were so hyped for this season, and just to have it go the way it went so quickly. I mean, their savior, Colin Kaepernick, he'll be in camp pretty soon, so the Jets will be fine then. Give it a couple weeks. Eileen says, Danny says the Giants beat the Seahawks. I can see that. I can see the Giants beating the Seahawks. I'm a big Danny Dimes fan. I just think it's a slow start for him. I do think I have confidence in Danny Dimes. I'm not a big Geno Smith fan. I don't like him. I'm not a big fan of him, so never was. Didn't like him when he was in New York. Adam Glenn says, let's lose by 21. I think he means Jets. Jets lose by 21. I could see that happening. Eagles over Commanders 21-14 and Chargers 24-14. Good scores there, Rob. Who cares about the Kings and those Ducks? Quack, 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 quack. Duck soup, anyone? The Kings are coming for the Knights this year, buddy. That's it. They're going to dump the Knights right on their head. Eagles will win by 14, Adam's saying. If the Jets sign Cap, I will come on the show and denounce my fan club membership. I don't know why anybody would sign Colin Kaepernick. Now, before we get all political and, kneeling crap or whatever, all that aside, all of that stuff aside, I'm not going to get into it. That's not what the show's about. Out the window with that stuff. All right. The dude hasn't played football in years. Years. Not a season, 2 seasons. Years. Many years. He hasn't. I don't think Colin Kaepernick has taken a snap since my 5-year-old has been alive. I think it's been 6 years since Colin Kaepernick has played football. Nobody should sign the man. Nobody. If he was any good, somebody would have signed him. They would have looked past the kneeling and the supposed controversies and stuff like that. They would have looked past it. If he was going to be any good, they would have looked past it. He's not any good. He's done. Why he's still trying to do this is beyond me. If he still wants to play football, if he's passionate about playing football, go to the new league. The XFL, USFL merger, they're merging. I don't know what the hell they're going to be called, USXFL. I don't know. But they're merging into one league now. Go there. See if somebody will sign you there. Play there. Get something on film. Then maybe somebody like an NFL team like, you know what, Cap has it. But I think the reason that doesn't happen because he doesn't have it. He's no good. That's what I think. This is just a way to keep his name in the public's mouth, and it's also a way to keep his they hate me. They hate me run going. It's mind-boggling why anybody would even consider signing the guy. And the Raiders tried him out last year, and the Raiders said, from what I've read some stuff where it said the Raiders personnel told reporters off the record, I guess, that it was probably one of the worst tryouts they've ever had. So that tells you a lot. Paul says, I'm always up at him. The boss said no podcast, and they fell asleep during the new Saw. Lightweights, right, Paul? Lightweights. Eileen says he hasn't played in 6 years. I'd rather see Zach Wilson try to improve. I don't know if I'd rather see Zach Wilson try to improve, but I'd say I wouldn't want to see Colin Kaepernick as my quarterback either, though. I mean, there has to be somebody else, on a practice squad that or a second string quarterback that's just as good, if not better, than what Zach Wilson is. I mean, the dude doesn't have it. Either he doesn't have it or they're not giving him the opportunity to show that he does have it. They're being too cautious with the play calling. I say, what do you got to lose now? What do you have to lose? Open that shit up. Let him sling it all over the place. Let him do him. And if it's no good, it's no good. The season's already going down a shitter. The season's already starting to spin. It's already starting to swirl, and it's starting to head down the vortex there. I think he's trying to be relevant still, and so every year he does this. I want to play, but I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to crap. Oh, I want to play, but I don't want to crap. I didn't read it correctly. I'm like, what do you mean he doesn't want to crap? I don't remember hearing that. What do we got here? Rob, if it pops up here, I'm going to try it again. There we go. Rob says, damn right, Ken, he's washed up. I think it says, I typed that pretty good with one eye closed or maybe even both. Oh, Eileen is sleepy. Paul says, Adam, you better up for the Golden Dome. Adam, you better be up at 11 a.m. for the Golden Dome. I'll be on my way to a wedding, so I won't be tuning into the Golden Dome. Maybe when that song comes on, Here Comes the Bride, I'll quick flip on my phone so nobody can hear it. I'll get a couple seconds in that way. Dun, 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 dun. There's Paul talking to me. Or maybe I'll have earbuds in. Like you used to see in 1980s sitcoms where they'd have the Walkman or in the ear muffs. The headphones, that's what I'm trying to say. I can't think of it. All right, so that's all I have for today. Like I said, last week's Monkey Cool Coffee Player of the Week was Devontae Adams. I don't know why I just did. I bumped the wrong button. I'm like, what the hell? Did I just end it? No, I didn't end it. I hit the music. Last week's player of the game was Devontae Adams. I'm ready for bed too, Eileen. I ain't gonna lie to you. Is Devontae Adams? Like I said, players to watch. Jay Fine player, defensive player to watch is Marcus Peters. The Dugout Mugs offensive player to watch is going to be Josh Jacobs. Like I said, I feel like he's coming out of it. And the out of the box sports entertainment rookie to watch is Jacorian Bennett. So let's see if he and Marcus Peters can keep Justin Herbert passing yards and completions to a minimum. So now I am done. Now I can go to the music. If there's no more comments, if everybody didn't leave me already when I hit the wrong. Oh Lord. Yeah. Pay the designer. Yeah, he should get top dollar or some sort of recognition or a plaque of some sort. Everybody. Paul does a great job with this stuff. He's been getting super creative, which is awesome. And then the videos, the opening and the closings and stuff like that, does a great job. Many thanks to Paul. Eileen's laughing at me. I hit it. I'm like, what the hell happened? Like, music is playing. I'm like, did I hit end stream? I'm like, look. I'm like, no, I didn't hit it. I'm like, well, I can shut this off and continue to blab. Rob says, I'll be up at 8 for the Golden Dome. Go Irish. Who does Notre Dame play tomorrow? McCann School of Business or what? Schuylkill Institute of Business and Technology. Who are they playing? Who's Notre Dame playing? I'll be rooting for Notre Dame as well. So, Paul says, "Thank you, Robert." Oh, that's gonna be a good game, Duke. There we go. Eileen says Duke. Paul says Duke. Duke is ranked, I believe, right? That had a pretty good start to the season so far. And if it's one thing you can say about Notre Dame, they usually have a pretty tough schedule. I mean, when you schedule Duke, you don't know what Duke you're going to get. Are you going to get the nerds, that are 0-10, or are you going to get a team that's actually decent? It seems like they have a pretty decent team this year. So he says Duke is 17 and Notre Dame is 11. So Notre Dame didn't drop down too far after that tough loss to Ohio State. I didn't think they'd drop too far. I feel like they would. I thought they would just went to 10, stayed in the top 10, within reach of the playoffs still. Because the more relevant Notre Dame is, the better for college football it is. And if they're in the hunt for a playoff spot, that's good watching. That's a lot of eyes on the TV, a lot of eyes on college football. So, but 11 is close to 10. It's closer than 12 is to 10. So, all right, that's all I got for today. I'm getting the hell out of here. I haven't eaten in a while, so I'm going to go and grab a sandwich and feed my fat ass and go to bed. All right. Thank you, everybody, for checking the show out. I'm going to leave for real this time. When I hit the music, I'm really going to be gone. So if there's no more comments, I'm going to stop talking. And then I'm going to hit the end stream. I'm going to hit the music, and I'm going to hit end stream. So if there's any more comments, I'm going to do it. Have it out there before I stop talking. I'm going to continue talking right now. If there's no more comments by the time I'm done talking right now, then there won't be any more comments posted, and I'm gone. See ya. Just